Hey you guys, welcome back and welcome if you are new. My name is Sam and welcome to my channel. This week we are starting out with some pizza. My daughter wanted bacon and cheese pizza, so we compromised and we had bacon, cheese, and veggie pizza with some olives on it because I am a veggie pizza person. So I just made some pizza dough and threw all of the toppings together, popped that in the oven, and that's what we had for dinner today. It was absolutely delicious, super easy. Alright you guys, so we are going to be making some fish in a cilantro lime sauce today. It's going to be absolutely delicious. I've got some broccoli roasting in the oven. I've got some rice on in the Instant Pot. We're going to go ahead and start on the fish. So I've just got some trout here. You can do any kind of white fish that you like or prefer. And I've just patted them dry. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil, and this is just going to help the seasoning stick to the fish. Okay. So first I'm going to go in and season this first side with some salt and pepper. As always, season to taste with salt and pepper. And I've got a spice mixture here, and this is just some cumin, Aleppo pepper, and some ground coriander. And I'm just going to add half of this to the first side of the fish. And that olive oil is going to help that seasoning stick. And then we're going to flip this over and do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so now that I've got this seasoned, I'm going to set this to the side and I'm going to grab my cast iron skillet. Alright, so I've got my skillet here and I've just been heating it up over medium-low heat. And I've got some olive oil here. And I'm just going to add that right into the pan. And we're going to let this heat up. It shouldn't take long. Give that a little swirl around the pan. Make sure it's all nice and coated on the bottom. And now I'm just going to add my fish in, and I'm going to cook this about 2 to 3 minutes on the first side, and then I'm going to flip it over and cook it another 1 to 2 minutes on the other side until the fish is completely cooked through, and then we'll remove it from the pan. Alright you guys, so I've taken the fish out and I've got it sitting on a plate here. I'm going to add in some garlic. I've got some garlic here that I've got minced up. I'm just going to add that in there, and we're going to cook this for about 30 seconds. I've got some chicken broth here, but you can do a mixture of chicken broth and some white wine. I don't have any white wine, so I'm just going to use the chicken broth. So I'm going to add that right in. Give that a little stir. Kind of scrape up those bits off the bottom of the pan. I've got a couple of tablespoons of capers here, and I'm just going to add those right in and give that another little stir. And I've got some lemon juice here. I'm just going to add the juice of 1 lemon. You can also do the juice of 2 limes. I don't have any limes, so we're using lemon juice today. I've also got I'm going to say about a cup or so of cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, I'm sure you can do parsley. So I'm just going to add that right in there. And give that a little mix. And I'm going to let this cook for about 5 minutes in this delicious, flavorful sauce. It smells so delicious. But we're going to be adding the fish back in just a few minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and let this cook down for about 5 minutes. And then we'll add the fish. All right, so this has been cooking for about 5 minutes, just a little over 5 minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and cut my heat off. Since this is a cast iron, it's going to carry the heat really well. If you have a non-stick, I would cut it down on low. I am going to go ahead and add the fish right back into this sauce. And what's left of those juices that's on the plate, that is flavor. I've got a little spoon here, and I'm just going to spoon some of this sauce right over the top of this fish. And I'm just going to let this sit and hang out here while the broccoli is finishing up in the oven. And then we'll make our plates. All right, you guys, here is my plate. I just have this fish here, and I've just set it over a bed of rice, added a little bit of extra sauce on top, added some roasted broccoli on the side, and this was absolutely delicious. If I can find this recipe online, I will definitely leave it linked down below. If not, I will leave the cookbook that I used, and you can find that cookbook in my Shop My Books on my Amazon storefront. So this was absolutely delicious. Okay guys, today we're going to be making some harissa baked chicken. It's going to be so good. I'm going to make some roasted vegetables to go along with it. But first we're going to start off with making the marinade. So I've got some garlic cloves in here. Got quite a few. And I'm going to add 1 medium onion. Make sure I get it all in the bowl. And then I'm going to add the juice of a couple of lemons. All right, I've got that in there. Now I'm going to add in some harissa paste, and this is what it looks like. Now you can get this in mild or spicy. I got the mild, so if you want it a little bit more spicy, you can go ahead and get the spicier version. So I'm going to add that right in there. The mild is not spicy to me. It's a little bit more fruity, but it's delicious. I'm going to add in some nutmeg, some ground nutmeg. And I'm going to add in some cayenne pepper. Now you add the cayenne pepper to as spicy as you want it. And I'm going to add some salt and pepper, seasoned to your taste. All right, now I'm just going to add in some olive oil. I'm going to add enough to make a paste. And now I'm just going to attach the lid and blitz this until it is completely smooth. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is done and it's completely smooth. It's kind of medium consistency. You can make it a little bit thicker if you want, but this is what it looks like. It smells absolutely delicious. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my chicken. All right, so I've got my chicken here and I just patted it dry. I'm going to add this delicious marinade over the top. And I'm going to rub this chicken down in this marinade, and I'm going to let it sit and soak up all of those delicious flavors for a couple of hours. You can, if you don't have the time, you can do 30 minutes would be fine. I'm sure it would be. But I've got time today, so I'm going to let it marinate for probably about an hour and a half before we put this in the oven. So I'm going to rub this chicken down, cover it in plastic, and then I'm going to let this marinate for a couple of hours, and then I'll meet you back here and we'll get it in the oven. Alright, so this has been marinating for just over an hour and a half. It's about an hour and 35-ish minutes. So I'm just going to take the plastic wrap off of this, pop this in a 400-degree oven, and cook it until it is completely cooked through, about 25 to 35 minutes. I've already got my vegetables on in the oven, so when this gets done, I will show you my plate. Here is my plate, you guys. This chicken was so flavorful and so tender, absolutely delicious. I just served that with a little bit of extra sauce on the top. It was so good. And I had some vegetables that I needed to use up. So I just chopped up some regular potatoes, sweet potatoes, and some carrots. Tossed that with a little bit of salt, pepper, olive oil, and a peach, kind of spicy peach seasoning. Roasted it until it was completely cooked through and tender. So delicious. Alright, you guys, today we're going to be making some fettuccine alfredo, but I'm going to add some shrimp to it. So I've already got some pasta water over here coming up to a boil. I've already added my pasta, salted it, everything. The pasta is almost done. In the meantime, I've got my skillet here over low heat, and we are going to add in some butter. While that butter melts, the pasta is going to finish up cooking. It shouldn't take too long, and then we will add the pasta to the butter and make some fettuccine alfredo. Alright, the butter has melted and my pasta is al dente, and I'm just going to go ahead and add all of my pasta into my butter here. And I'm going to reserve my pasta water just in case I need it to thin out the sauce. Okay, I'm just going to kind of toss this in with that butter just a little bit. I'm going to cut my heat off, and I'm going to add in some Parmesan cheese right in there, and we're just going to mix this until everything is nice and combined. We're going to add a little bit of pasta water to thin out the sauce, and then this should be good to go. We'll add in some shrimp, and dinner will be done. Alright, so I got some cooked shrimp here that I cooked earlier, and I'm just going to add all of the shrimp in here. We're going to give this a little toss together, and everything will be done. And I'll plate this up and I'll show you my plate. Alright, you guys, here is my plate. This fettuccine alfredo was so simple to make. It was absolutely delicious. Now, normally I would add like a grilled chicken to fettuccine alfredo if I add any meat at all. But I had some shrimp that needed to be used up, so I opted for shrimp, and I just topped it with a little bit of some parsley, and this was so good. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comment section down below. All these recipes will be linked in the description box, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.